Hey everyone, I'm DM Allen, and thank you for joining me. I am very excited to talk about today's subject because I haven't been able to find a good resource for it on the internet. And once I figured it out, I figured I'd share with you guys. So today we're going to talk about uh, how to center numbers on a D4 when you're designing dice. So I just started designing dice, which has been an extremely exciting thing for me. So something I found though was out of all of the dice, the hardest one for me to model was the D4. And the reason was is I couldn't get the number aligned appropriately every time on the faces, which unfortunately there's a lot of numbers on a D4. So I did figure it out after a admittedly embarrassing large amount of hours, and I wanted to show you. Now, this concept should be valid for a lot of modeling softwares. I don't necessarily know how it works in all the other softwares, but for Blender, it's pretty simple. So, what I've got here is I've got our D4 set up and centered, and I have a couple of numbers over here to just kind of show you how to line them up. Something in Blender that's really cool is you can set up snapping. We are going to set up face snapping so that we rotate and position appropriately to the face. And we are also going to set up face manipulation in our edit when we are in edit mode. So let's just get to it. First, just select your D4 here and go ahead and go into edit mode using the tab or whatever hotkey you've got set up, and then select the face you want to deal with. I want to first set up the face over here. Down in the bottom, there is a face button, and you can just click that guy, and I want to work with this face right here. So let's center that up. Shift 7 will get us close to where we want to go, and then Shift 6 will rotate it in the way we want. And I want to break this up into many faces. So what I've done in the past is just try to position the number on the selected face. Cursor to the center. No. Cursor to selected, and then bring it to the selected and rotate, and now we are on that face. But no matter what, there's no snapping here. I tried things where drawing planes so that I could center it on all of the faces, and it got absolutely crazy because you got a vertical plane for all three sides, and then you got a horizontal plane so that you can center them horizontally. It wasn't working out, and I knew there had to be a better way. So let's put this all back, and let's go back into edit mode tab. And something that I discovered is called poke face. Poke face is going to actually break up the poly on this side into many different faces. So for me, that is option P, and you see how it gives me a bunch of faces, right? And each one of these has a center to it. Well, I said, well, if I can do this, then what if I can take this one step further and see if I can make it create quadrants where I want the numbers roughly. And just so happens another Control P will do that. So now you've got these interfaces here which you can work with that help center the number up. So for the number 1 position, I want to grab these two, and I'm going to set my cursor, Shift S for me. I'm going to set the cursor to selected, and that's going to center it up between the two faces. So now I tab off, and I am going to, before I snap to cursor, now I'm going to change the origin so that the origin is completely centered inside of the volume. center to mass. Okay, and then we snap it, Shift S, and then selection to cursor, and then hit R to rotate about the face, and then we are going to go ahead and rotate this guy so that it's where we want it to face. I haven't really figured out a good way of rotating like this. I have noticed like I can mess around with local versus global. If you know a really good way or a great video, why don't you put a comment out there and let me know, because that would be absolutely amazing. I just kind of mess around with it until I get kind of close and figure out which ones are rotating the way I want them to, and then I get it close enough, and then I hit Control R, snap to where I want it. Now, obviously, when going through here, I will actually use my personal font that I set up for the dice I intend to print. And so I just have a lazy font here, Blender's standard font. And so this doesn't necessarily fit exactly how I want it to be, but you guys get the idea. So what's awesome about this process is it's super fast. So let me quick change this guy so that it has a material and we can see him a little better. And we're going to apply that to these as well, just so we can see him a little better. That's perfect. So center this guy up. That's the nice thing about Blender, is it remembers what you did last. And then grab this face, these faces here. Alright, and so now I'm just going to fiddle around with this guy to get kind of the sizes I'm looking for. There, that's better. So that's pretty much how I do it. I like to mess around and make this a little more polished with the size of the numbers, but in total, that's how simple it can be. You just got to know that little tool called the poke tool. So that's all I've got for you guys. Like I said, if you've got a better way, I am very excited to hear about it. Leave a comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please throw me a like. That'd be absolutely fantastic. As always, I've got a few other videos on my channel. Go ahead and check them out. We've got the D&D podcast, Roll with Advantage, and I've got a few other fun videos out there, and there should be more to come. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a ton of fun designing your own dice. Well, I'll see you out on the internet, everyone. Bye, guys.